So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for another round of discussion on Gita Gyan. So, today is also a fantastic, very auspicious day. Whenever and wherever the Gita is spoken, Bhagavad Gita is discussed, that day, that moment is considered very, very auspicious. Okay. So, first of all, my gratitude to all of you for joining today and remaining with us. Okay, today is the 5th day. And here we're going to discuss on chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So before we start, let's do our invocation prayer. That to show our gratitude to all our spiritual preceptor, all our spiritual master, with their causeless mercy, that we study the Gita and hope that Krishna reveal himself in this chapter. All right. Om Aiknanaatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradaine Gaurakada Damadaya Nagragrama Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachari Satarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Viknanadaine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virda Pasidanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachi Danandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhume Stomni Dasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhama Sri Jagannatha Yate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Paditanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Om Namo Bhagavat Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Hari Om Tatsat. So happy to see all of you here today on this beautiful Friday morning. Okay, then so we're going to continue on chapter 5. So chapter 5, okay, just to recap on chapter 4 yesterday. So yesterday we spoke about the title was Transcendental Knowledge, chapter 4. So here we understood the spiritual knowledge of the soul and also the God, and of course their relationship. Okay, and also we also studied about the importance of approaching a guru. Okay, how we should approach a guru. We should approach a guru in a very submissive way. We have to render service to him because he knew the truth. He can impart the truth to us, to you. Okay, so when you look at it, that in every education, especially, okay, we need to have a guru. Yes or not? We need to have a teacher. And imagine now Krishna is saying that in order for you to understand further on this subject matter, you need to have a guru. So now the question is, who is my guru now, right? So that is why the Srila Prabhupada has become an eminent Siksha Guru. There's three types of guru, actually. The first guru is Chaita Guru. Chaita Guru means the one who lives in your heart, Paramatma, right? That is your first guru. The second guru is Diksha Guru. The Diksha Guru is the one that initiate you and link you into the Parampara. Okay, remember yesterday we discussed about the Parampara, the four authorized Parampara. So in order to achieve perfection, you have to be linked with any of these four authorized Parampara, all right, or the lineage, all right, the Guru disciple lineage. Without these four this thing, it is not possible, because that's what is mentioned. Parampara is very important. Okay, so what are the four Parampara we saw? First is Rudra Sampradaya. Rudra Sampradaya means from Lord Shiva. And second is Sri Sampradaya from Mahalakshmi, Sri Sampradaya. The third is Kumara Sampradaya. Kumara Sampradaya means the sons of Brahma, the four Kumaras. Okay, and of course that another one, the last one is Brahma Madhava, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, and that is our Sampradaya, that we are all in under this Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay, so we have to be, so any knowledge that derive, that means any opinion that we give here, it's not from our own opinion. Okay, we must understand one thing. In order, see, like for instance, there is also a traditional hearsay. Okay, according to the tradition, this is the way I should pray, and this is the way that I should worship, and this is the way of life, this and that. Okay, but the most important is, whatever knowledge that we want to gain, we have to gain from an authorized source. Example, when we born, we don't know who is our father. Yes or not? We do not know who is the father. And the one who give us the information who is our father is the mother. The mother is the one who gives that information. So in order for me to find out who is my father, I cannot go around and asking all the people around me. I cannot go and ask my aunt. I cannot go and ask my relations and whoever it is. Can you tell me who's my father? Okay. The best person that can give you that who's my father is actually my mother. Okay. And she's the authority. So when my mother says that this is your father, we don't protest. We simply accept it. Yes, that's my father, because it comes from authorized source. So similarly, in order to receive this kind of knowledge, especially the spiritual knowledge, we must understand that all this knowledge has to be derived from a authorized source. So one of the authorized source that we have here is Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is the source that has been authorized, and of course, and it's been translated. Okay, since the day one, there are more than 5 million copies of Bhagavad Gita has been printed and distributed worldwide. 5 million copies, and it's ever expanding. So more than 5 million actually. So when you see that there's so many versions of Bhagavad Gita out there, right? There's almost few hundred versions of Bhagavad Gita out there. But why this Bhagavad Gita is authorized? Because this Bhagavad Gita is spoken, it's delivered in such a way, exactly the way how it was delivered, spoken by Krishna 5,000 plus years ago. Okay, like some say, why are you only talking about Krishna and all this? Because that's what Krishna says. We want to present exactly what Krishna wanted to present, without any adjustment, without any mental concoction or speculation. Okay, so when you see this thing, like for instance, there's one of the famous, not famous, one of these Bhagavad Gita was by Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna is the former president of India. Right? When he translated Bhagavad Gita, that is one of the most bogus translation, or false. He said the person in Krishna is speaking to the person in Arjuna. So even though the knowledge is very straightforward, but they speculate. That says that God is formless, God has no form. Okay, the thing that inside Krishna, that means the impersonal feature accepted the form of Krishna, that another impersonal feature accepted the person Arjuna, and both are discussing. Right? So this kind of like this, there's so much of translation out there. But this Bhagavad Gita, as it is delivered in such a way exactly how Krishna delivered, without any alteration, without any changes. Modification. Okay, with words or whatever it is. That's why sometimes you see that exactly the real way. So it's proven. Even though, I mean, it's printed more than 5 million since 1972, and it's ever expanding. And this Bhagavad Gita has been kept as a textbook in Harvard, Oxford, okay, in all the major universities around the world in the study of Indology. Okay, in the study of Indians and this thing, there's a study of Indology in all these major universities. In that studies, this Bhagavad Gita is a standard textbook. So even a great authority, great scientists all accepted this version of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, like example, like recently ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, like NASA, okay, ISRO in India, they made a biggest breakthrough success by the first country in the world to send satellite to Mars. Right? They sent a satellite to the Mars exactly. It went and it landed in Mars. So it's first of its kind in the world. Okay. And the main scientist there, he said, I'm inspired from the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. He went to the Bangalore. He went and showed his gratitude to that person. And after that, he gave an interview. My inspiration of sending the satellite to the Mars came from this book, Bhagavad Gita, right? As it is. So we understand from here. So the book that we are discussing, we are just discussing on a very surface level. So I hope that you all can go and delve deeply into that subject. Okay, when you go and read. See, I've been doing this for the this Gita Gyan program for the last 3 years. I'm not sure how many students, but so many students. But yet every day I am getting more and more new awareness, realization. Sometimes when I read, hey, I didn't know this. Like for instance, yesterday we discussed with Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu. All right, he became a devotee age of 69. Imagine at the age of 69. 69 means people all should have their standard belief system. They do not want to accept something new in life. Sometimes when you see the elderly people say, you listen to me. They used to say, right? Don't try to teach me, okay? Sometimes they used to say that. But yet he had that awareness. And Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu also came not from an ordinary background. He has a illustrious lifestyle. He was a medical doctor, and he was the royal physician to Sultan of Perlis. Right? And when he was Agung, he lived in the palace. He's all the while, his job is working in palace. Imagine what a life. And yet he have saw this at the age of 69. He have taken up this. And today is 81. Okay, so 81. So what I'm trying to say, even at that advanced age, okay, this Bhagavad Gita really suits. Okay, why I'm telling you this? Okay, like this. So yesterday we were discussing, then suddenly I just opened the Bhagavad Gita and I was so surprised to see the thing. Okay, even a yogi who have practiced it, somehow or other in the next birth, he will, whether you like it or not, somehow or other he will come into it. He will take up this bhakti. All right. So that's the thing that yesterday we discussed. Or in other words, we also can say, if all of you are here, sitting here, listening to this Bhagavad Gita, it is something, is not coincident. It is not something that you felt like reading it and seeing it, and you are here. It's most probably, okay, it can be a speculation, all right? It can be a speculation. But according to what so far that we have understood from Bhagavad Gita, most probably you are just continuing this idea from your previous birth. All right, maybe in previous birth you should have tried some kind of bhakti, or you should have done something. Like yesterday we spoke about yoga ladder, right? So you are simply continuing here. All right, so that shows that how fortunate are you here. Okay, there are so many people sign up, but how many of you are here? Okay, that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 of you. That's including me, 9. That means 8 of you are here. So that shows that this is not an ordinary feat. So today in chapter 5, what we're going to discuss is how we're going to act in Krishna consciousness. Okay, first of all, what is Krishna consciousness? Is it way of life? Is it a religion? It is a religious process. Actually, it's not. Okay, Krishna consciousness means you are the consciousness. Okay, when you become unconscious, so when problem, see, when we leave the body, when we pass away, something has gone. So what is that gone? The soul has gone. So once the soul leaves the body becomes useless. And how the soul express itself, how the soul acts. Okay, I want to see. All right, now I see you say there's a wind. Okay, I just take the thing and flap. So I'm just like agitating that energy like this, that the wind is blowing. That means there's an air there, and I'm just agitating, there's a wind. All right. So that means I can see things. But the problem is, how am I to understand whether the soul is there or not? The soul is there or not is according to your consciousness. That means I am conscious, I'm alive, I'm thinking, I'm kicking, now I'm talking, I'm going around, moving around. That shows the presence of the soul. So the consciousness is actually the it shows that the presence of the soul exists in that body. Okay, and that conscious. So Krishna consciousness means we are going back to our original consciousness. Okay, our original way of life. All right, the consciousness. So that is what it's meant by Krishna consciousness. So then, like some people, like in my previous session, session 2 or session 3, somebody suddenly called me, and he was Christian, and he's been doing this kind of evangelic work and all this. So suddenly he just called and he just said, Prabhu, I would like to convert to Hare Krishna. I said, nobody converts to Hare Krishna. Okay, this is not a stereotype religion, and this is a non-sectarian movement. So that means, in other words, you can be from any faith, any background you have in your distinct, but you are simply changing your mind. You're just adding Krishna in your life. That's it. You are just adding an ingredient. All the while you're eating food without salt, and you feel it's very tasteless and this thing. But now you start to add a taste in your life. All right, just like salt. So that means you're still going on with the same life, same way of life and everything. You're just adding Krishna or the original consciousness into your life. So therefore, no one converts. All right, we don't go around convert people. I said, hey, now you come to my religion. We don't even call it as a religion. Okay, because this is called Sanatana Dharma. What is Sanatana Dharma means? Sanatana means eternal. Dharma means religiosity. Okay, what is religiosity? The way that express, for instance, for instance, okay, say I'm a karate, I'm learning karate, right? So when I have that karate, when I go for a tournament, what they call? They don't say fighting, they say sparring. So there's a term. The term that you are there in that you're going for karate, you're going for a fight. All right. So you just go there, and what you do is the term they call sparring. All right, they don't say fighting. Sparring. So there's a term for everything, right? So similarly, the way that we're going to attract, the way that we express ourselves to God and we become very submissive to God is called religiosity. So the religiosity doesn't have any particular thing. When you talk about Sanatan Dharma, the Sanatan Dharma can change according to the time, place, and circumstances. Today, I can be a Hindu, all right? But later, I want to have some benefit from the government, so I go and convert myself to Islam, all right? Then after that, I move to overseas. Say I go to London, and suddenly I get into some this thing, and they said, "Are you a religion? Are you a Christian? Are you a Methodist?" I said, "Well, I can convert." All right, you convert as a Methodist. So that means we are simply changing our faith according to the time, place, and circumstances. A good example is my uncle, my father's younger brother. He migrated from Malaysia from England. He went to England. He became a male nurse. So what happened? Before he could do that, he was in ACS Ipoh. He was studying there, and he went and befriended a pastor, because when the pastor gives recommendation, he's a Western-bodied pastor, because we were talking about 1960s. So he went and joined that ACS church, the Anglican church, and he studied the Bible, everything nicely. Then he converted to the faith of Methodist. All right. Then that pastor gave a recommendation, so he went to England. So he went to England. What happened? So he went to England. He easily got a job, because it was recommended, and of course, it's some Methodist church, a Methodist hospital. He became a male nurse. So after he went there, he started working. He got migrated just for this. He just changed his religion just for that. And after that, he fell in love with the Irish lady. So my aunt, she's Irish. So Irish are basically Catholics. So when he married to my aunt, what he did? He converted to Catholics, Catholicism, something, Catholicism. Okay, Catholicism. He became a Catholic. Then after that, I was thinking, what happened to you now? No, I'm married to your aunt, and she's a Catholic. And I said, no, I'm a Catholic. He must be a Catholic. The marriage must happen in Catholic church. Then he converted. Then after that, he migrated from England, he migrated to New Zealand. After he went to the New Zealand, all right, so they remain as a Catholic, and they are this thing. So then my cousin, all right, my cousin, she became an atheist. She became an atheist. She said, "There's no God." Even when my aunt or my uncle says, "Thank God," he said, and my cousin says, "Don't ever say that word because God don't exist." So what I'm trying to tell you here is the faith, the dharma is changing according to the time, place, and circumstances. So that is not the real dharma. That's not eternal. So we are known as Sanatana Dharma, the eternal dharma. The eternal dharma means the eternal act of religiosity. So we don't even um, so the eternal under the pretext of eternal dharma. So what is it, our eternal dharma? Okay, what is our eternal religiosity? That we are always the servant and our job is to serve. Okay, we are not the master. Okay, even though we can call ourselves as a master, but still we are not the master because our job is simply to serve. Okay, we are always the servant. Okay, then what is my natural constitutional position? What is my original position? All these things are called eternal dharma. It is not a isolated kind of or kind of cult or a kind of religion. Okay, this is called eternal dharma, sanatana dharma. Okay, so now in this karma yoga, action in Krishna consciousness means how are you going to act according to your sanatana dharma. How you should do actually. All right, because Krishna says at first karma yoga, he started slow. He started karma yoga, do your job, sacrifice everything to Vishnu. Then chapter 4, he says, well, and you need to know the God, who God is all potent, is very interesting. But in order to understand him, you have to accept Guru. Right? And now in chapter 5, he's going to say, as a person, how are you going to engage yourself in God consciousness? Because you must understand, other than God consciousness, the other way of life is not going to give you happiness. Okay, because I've seen that people who are diverse, like atheists, right? Like atheists, these atheistic people, they are always frustrated. Okay, because they don't want to come to their original inquiry. Okay, atheists and all these modern people, the scientists, modernization. Okay, so they said, oh, there's something which is greater than whatever, and they couldn't understand. And in their conversation, usually they say, I think, it may, in my opinion. Come on, you cannot say that. So if you say, I think, I may, or my opinion, that shows that you're not very sure what you're talking about. That's why in scientific world, they call it as theory. Everything they call it as theory. All right, the theory of that, theory of this, because they are not very sure about it. They are not very firm. Okay, like yesterday I was watching this video about Kailash, the Mount Kailash. So they said, oh, there's some says, oh, it's going to be a huge pyramid that built by the alien. You go up there, you see a thunderstorm. You see that, the southern part that receives the most of the sunshine. That place, that place is not receiving the sunshine. Okay, it looks flat, and the place that receives the sunshine, it is thick with snow. All the speculation they are doing it. All right. So I think the think, in this and that, they are just simply speculating. So that kind of speculation, it is going to be answered here. How you should be very specific. All right. So there's no speculation here. In Bhagavad Gita, there's no speculation. It's very straightforward information. And we should accept it in exact way of how Krishna explained it to Arjuna. Imagine, spoken 5,400, 5,000 plus years, 5,200 years, 5,400 years ago. And the subject matter that he speaks valid till today. So we all have turned our back towards the spiritual life, towards God and everything. Okay. So we think that through modernization, we can be happy. But now it's proven the modernization doesn't make one happy. It makes people more frustrated. It make people go even more crazier. Okay. So it's becoming more and more complex. Okay. So that's the thing that we're going to discuss here. Outwardly performing all action, but inwardly renouncing their fruits. The wise man, purified by the fire of transcendental knowledge, attains peace, detachment, forbearance, spiritual vision, and bliss. So that's a topic that we're going to discuss today. Okay. So let's start our Discussion? Okay. So, ISKCON Ipoh proudly presents Gita Gyan program, the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And today we're going to discuss on chapter 5. Let's take darshan from Sri Radha Krishna. Okay, so today we dedicate our program to Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And this program is also inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, Governing Body Commissioner, and also Spiritual Master. And I dedicate this to my very beloved God brother, His Grace Anadi Jagannath Prabhu of Bengaluru ISKCON Shishadipuram, created brainchild of the Essence of Gita program worldwide. So now let's look at this Gita Mahatmya. This is very, very, very important. Is it on record? Eh? It's recording, right? Anyway, I'm very clear, right? It's my volume, everything is okay?
Clear, Prabhu. Harish.
Okay, great. So now let's look at this. So let's say what Adi Shankara spoke about Gita Mahatmya. In this Gita Mahatmya, he says, Bharada Mritta Sarvasvam Vishnu Vaktrat Vinishritam Gita Gango Dakam Pitva Punarjanma na Vidyate. Punarjanma means our previous birth, right? So Bharada Mritta Sarvasvam Vishnu Vaktrat Vinishritam Gita Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanma na Vidyate. He says, by. There's a message. Oh, okay. Oh, Kesavan, welcome. Hare Krishna. Now, let's look at this. By drinking the Ganges water, okay, by drinking the Ganges water of the Gita, the divine quintessence of the Mahabharata, emanating from the holy lotus mouth of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, one will never take rebirth in this material world again. All right, like yesterday, I think a few days ago, or yesterday, someone was talking about rebirth, about this, what they call that. Astrologer says that, you know, what happened in this particular Rasi, will you be birth again? So now it says, so now Adi Shankara, you know Adi Shankara, right? Adi Shankara, okay, everybody knows who is Adi Shankara. So he spoke, one will never take rebirth in this material world again. Can you imagine? All right. In other words, by devotionally reciting the Gita, the cycle of birth and death is terminated. So, my dear devotees, think about it. We are all suffering. We are all going through so much of pain and pleasure in life. All that pain and pleasure is what? Something that has been granted, okay, all from the action of our previous birth. Okay. So now, we want to terminate. Like, for instance, in this very birth itself, how terrible, how horrible it looks. Okay. If you get a chance, do you want to start all over again? Huh? I was thinking, yes, why not? You know, born again, no big deal. But my biggest blow came when my father passed away. All right. It took me 1 year to recover from that anxiety, right? From that pain. So I was thinking, actually, why am I going through that? That's when I start to realize so many things. Because all the while I'm reading Bhagavad Gita, but I didn't understand. But when the reality hit me, that's when I start to realize. Okay. Imagine starting all over again, being born again, having a nice father, a nice mother, you know, having a life and everything, and suddenly see them leaving the body and dying and going off. So this is the process that is so terrible. Huh? We don't want to be born again. And imagine if we miss our human birth, like yesterday we discussed, you know, like so many living entities. What happens if I miss the human birth and I fall down to some animal kingdom, or I'm born as an insect? How terrible. Just imagine, right? That day I was sharing in our batch 3 group about the leech. Okay, the leech, you know, attack, leech. You know, the leech is something that doesn't have body, doesn't have anything, only have some 2 things on top that guides him where to go. And just imagine how abominable the life is to be born as a leech. So like that. So, but now we are all struggling. We are doing all this kind of prayer. We are going to Ganga. We are doing Yamuna. We are bathing, you know, Ganga, Yamuna, Sindhu, Kaveri. We are going to all the places of pilgrimage. One of the reasons also to stop that cycle of birth and death. But here, Adi Shankara says very nicely, very clearly, If one will never take away from, that means by drinking, that means, okay, that means one will never take, okay, in other words, by devotionally reciting the Gita, okay, the cycle of birth and death is terminated. What is the cycle of birth and death terminated means? That means all your karma is terminated. All right. In other words, if you don't have, if you have that karma, you still have to go on living in this world. You have to suffer the consequences. Okay. Say a person murdered someone and he's sentenced to death. He's in the prison. Okay. He's in the prison. So he's carrying on the action that he did. He murdered someone and he's sentenced to death. He's waiting in the prison, the death row. All right. Just waiting. Anytime he's going to get hanged. So what he do? He go and appeal. All right. He went to the high court. Then after that, go to the federal court. Then go to the Supreme Court. Then go to the federal court. Putrajaya. Everywhere, everything got rejected. And he says, we are going to uphold your death sentence. So now, anytime they're going to call you and says, that's it. Tomorrow is going. Tomorrow is going to be your last day. Okay. And they're always in anxiety. Okay. Always in anxiety and these things. But suddenly, so that means, or whatever sins they have done, they are waiting to get that punishment. Every day they are going through that thing. Okay, I've murdered someone and I'm suffering, the anxiety, the stress and everything. But suddenly when the Sultan or the Agung come and says, well, I'll forgive you for your offense. So you get the royal pardon. Okay, what happened if you get the royal pardon? All the things, the action, you have murdered someone, brutal murder, you torture, all the things that you have done is forgiven. Then what happened? You escape the gallows. Then you are released from the prison. It just disappear. All the things that you have done, it just simply disappear. So the same thing like this. So when we go on reading this Gita and all these things, so that's why it says, the cycle of birth and death is terminated. All that karma, all the action, reaction, everything is terminated at once. Good question, Tinishwari. Is it drinking Ganges water and reciting Gita by devotion is equal? Okay, we'll ensure the rebirth. Okay. So that means, say, like, for instance, for you to drink the Gita, okay, why that they call the Ganges water of the Gita? Okay, that means, in other words, the Ganges water of Gita means the knowledge you are studying, you are drinking. You're drinking that knowledge. Okay, it is just a way that they express in a very poetic way. Okay, why they call Ganges? See, the Ganga came when the three Vikram, that when Krishna came in the small baby form, he asked for 3 pieces of land from Bali Maharaj. Vamanadev. So that's a festival the Malayali celebrates, Onam Pandigai. So he come and ask for 3 steps of land. So 1 step he goes up, 2nd step, and the 3rd step he step on his head. So the leg that went up hit that core of the universe, and from there, from Vraja river, the water came down, and that is the Ganga. So it came down by washing the leg of the Trivikram and come and this thing. And similarly, Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna, came from his mouth. So that's why they call it equal. That means Ganga and Gita are equal. Okay. So how are we going to celebrate? How are we going to worship the Ganga? By taking a dip, by bathing, by taking a dip inside. But how are you going to worship, drink the water of Ganga? The Gita, by reading and studying it. Okay. So then that says, that's why. So when you drink the Ganga water of Gita, means that's the thing. So when you recite the Gita with devotionally, it will ensure your rebirth is terminated. Okay, because it's so horrible, right? Everyone is suffering. This is what they call the miserable condition of life, birth, death. Okay, death, die, who cares? No, so no problem. But in between, the 2 horrible things that we are going through is old age and disease. Now the disease are spreading like nobody's business. All right, it doesn't see the age. Like those days, we know people get old only, they get disease. But nowadays, young people are getting all kind of traumatizing disease, all kind of funny disease are out. So, like for instance, they said, oh, you got COVID vaccine, you go and take COVID vaccination, but there's a side effect with that. So anything, the modern life has created so much of trouble, and many people are in disease. All right, the common thing now, that those days cancer is not heard of. It's very uncommon. But nowadays, cancer became a very common word. We see in our family members, at least one person. Like my father was such a clean man. Right? Clean man. Never smoked, never drink, and very clean. But suddenly he had a larynx cancer, the cancer of the throat. Right? And he died. Why? Why? The question is why? So it's becoming more and more common. So we can't avoid it. So now the question is, can I put a full stop to that? So that's a solution that you can getting from Krishna. So why we are reading this Gita Mahatmya, so that you will appreciate, you will know, okay, when I study Gita, this is what's going to happen. All right. So in other words, by devotionally, not simply reading, devotionally reciting, study the Gita, the cycle of birth and death is terminated. Now let's look at understanding the Gita. Out of so many human beings who are suffering, there are few who actually inquire about their position. Okay. Okay, there's so many people are suffering. Out of so many human beings. Oh, sorry. Okay, out of so many human beings. Hey, what is this? Krishna. I'm pressing something, it's coming. Okay. Out of so many human beings who are suffering, okay, there are only few who are actually inquiring about their position. Okay. Even though there's so many people who are suffering, only few are really asking why. Okay. As what they are, why they are, okay, what they are, and why they are put into this awkward position. Okay, and so on. Unless one is awakened to this position of questioning his suffering, unless he realizes that he doesn't want to suffer, but rather wants to make a solution to that suffering. Now, example, okay, he doesn't want suffering, and he rather wants make a solution to that suffering. So that means, okay, now I'm suffering, so I want to bring a solution to the suffering. Okay, I'm depressed, so therefore I create a theme park so that people can go and enjoy themselves to reduce their suffering. Example, you understand what I mean? Then this is not considered a perfect human being, right? This is not a perfect. You know you're suffering, and you're trying to but they bring a solution, because all the solution in this world, it actually is not a solution at all. Okay, so that means not considered a perfect human being. That means when they try to bring a solution to the suffering. So humanity begins when this kind of question is awakened, right, in one's mind. So in Brahma Sutra, this inquiry is called Brahma Jignasa, Atato Brahma Jignasa. Every activity of human being is to be considered a failure. Every activity, okay, is considered a failure. So just tell me which of the human activity that has become a success. All right, nothing. Even the most perfect car that they have created still break down. Even the most perfect plane still crashes. Even the most perfect medicine still doesn't save life. Okay, my father was a pharmacist, and he trusted in this modern medicine. We said, why not we look for an alternative? He said, no, I trust in this. So he went for a chemo and all these things, but he didn't make it. Okay, so the medicine didn't help him. Okay, then we just see around, even the most perfect building one day have to demolish. Okay, nothing stayed forever. Okay, so it's every human being is considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of the absolute. So unless he questions what is that nature. Okay, because so everything is considered failure unless he inquires the nature of the absolute. Therefore, those who begin to question why they are suffering, or where they came from and where they shall go after death, is the proper student to understand Bhagavad Gita. So here, as I said just yesterday, like a Torah, you know, that Jew religion, Torah, in that thing, the first rule is you shouldn't ask question. Even in all the major religions, so they say the same thing. Okay, they say don't ask question, simply follow. But here in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says you have to inquire, ask question, ask for yourself, why are you suffering, and are you happy with it? Because Krishna is giving you a minute independence of choice. You can choose. It's not necessary that you should be a Krishna conscious person. The selection is yours. So what my job is simply present it to you, the exact way how Krishna spoke to Arjuna. All right, but the decision is entirely yours, because you are given the minute independence. So now we know we are suffering and all this. So what is the solution? So that means when a person begin to question why they are suffering, why they came from, and where they shall go after death, okay, they are the proper student to understand Bhagavad Gita. If you don't, the Bhagavad Gita doesn't work for you, because you won't understand. Okay, so the sincere student should also have a firm respect to the Supreme Personality Godhead. Such a student was Arjuna. Okay. All right. So with that thought, let's start our program today. So today we're going to speak on chapter 5, Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. So now let's see 5.1. So now Arjuna again lamenting. Like just now, and I think chapter 3, all right, Arjuna says, you are saying work in renouncing of work or work in knowledge, which is better? All right, which is better? Please tell me decisively, right? He asked that question. Now Arjuna is again asking a question in chapter 5. So it's Arjuna Vacha Sanyasang Karmanang Krishna Punaryogam Cha Sangsasi Yachrayo Etayor Ekang Tanme Bruhi Sunishchitam. So Arjuna said, oh Krishna, first of all, you asked me to renounce work. Again, he asked that question. And then again, you recommend work with devotion. First, you said renounce work. Then after that, you said work in devotion. What is renounce work? Means stop doing anything. Just to expect. Just you say renounce the work. Then you recommend me to work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely, again, where's the word? Sanyasa Karmanam Krishna Punar Yogam Cha Sangsasi Yachriya Itayorekam Nati Bruhisu Nishchitam. Again, the word Nishchitam is here. Nishchitam means Nichiyamaga. Nichiyam. Tell me decisively. Definitely tell me. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which one of these two is more beneficial? Which one of these two is more beneficial? Which is more important? Again, come straight to the point. Okay. In 5.2, Krishna replies, Sri Bhagavan Vacha Sanyasa Karma Yogascha Nishrayasa Karavubau Tayostu Karma Sanyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. So the personality of God replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. Again, the renunciation of work and work in devotion both are good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Okay, so that means Krishna says both are good. Renouncing work and work in devotion both are better. No harm. But when you want me to compare these two, working in devotion is better than renouncing the work by not doing, just become a monk. Okay, it's better to work in devotion. Okay, so in 4, Krishna says, continues, Sankhya Yoga Pratakpala Pravadantina Pandita Ekamapyastita Samyak Ubayor Vindate Palam. So what Krishna says here, only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from analytical study. Again, only the ignorant speak. Ignorant people means those people don't have sufficient knowledge. They speak that devotional service or karma yoga as being different from analytical study of the material world. So they say that karma yoga is different than the scientific way or Sankhya yoga. All right, the analytical study means the study of that matter. All right, this is different. Okay, those who are actually learned say, that means those who are actually learned means those who are really intelligent, those who study the Veda, the sadhus, say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the result of both. So that means what it means here? Those who actually learn it say that he who applies himself, that means those who practice well to one of these paths, okay, if they practice that one of these paths, achieve the result of both. So that means when you talk about Sankhya, the analytical study, or you do karma yoga, you achieve the both of the result. Renunciation means sannyasam. Renunciation means you give up everything. Okay. Like for instance, how can I say? Okay, say like for instance, you are in particular job. Okay. For instance, say you like to cook. You like to cook. And you cook nicely and you do catering service and everything. All right. Of course, you got another job, but you love to cook. You got passion for cooking. You cook and this thing. But whoever eats, they come and always criticize your food. Criticize your food. That means, oh, your food is no good. You're not cooking well. You put more salt and all these things. And one day you get very angry. And he said, from now onwards, I renounce cooking. So renounce cooking means you do not cook anymore. You just give up everything. Give up cooking for good. Renunciation means action that you're going to do for good, permanently. All right? Permanently, you give up. Okay? Dinesh, you got it? Permanently give up that. You say, like, for instance, I'm a married man. Now I renounce. Renounce in Tamil, we call sannyasa. Or in Sanskrit, we call sannyas. So sannyasa means what? I give up my family, I give up my home, I give up my children, I give up all my property and go become a sannyasi. That's called renunciation. Okay? Finish?
Okay.
All right. So Sadguna Mataji asked, what is analytical study of matter? Analytical study of the matter means the study of scientific study of material situation. So analytical means scientific. So you analyze. Analyze means scientifically you're analyzing. What is this? What is that? Okay, Mataji? That's why I call analytical study. So the analytical study of a material, that means matter means our body, our nature and everything is called analytical study of the matter. Okay?
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay, right. So now, let's see. 5.6. So now he says, Sanyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha yoga yukta munir brahma na chire na digachati. So now again, the word sannyasi we discussed just now. So what Krishna says, Sanyasastu mahabaho. That means merely renouncing all activity. That means a person becomes sannyasi. That means I become a sannyasi, I go to Himalayas. And what I do nothing. I just sit there and meditate. Meditate. All right. You see, just merely means just simply renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy. This is very important. All right. So that means a person simply renouncing, simply takes sannyas order and don't do anything. Go to the, what they call, go to that Himalayas, go here and simply sit and do nothing and just simply meditate. Okay. It cannot make one happy. That's why when you see on the right hand side, when you see all the sadhus, especially in Himalaya, look at the eyes. They don't have that happy look in their face. They feel very frustrated because they are suppressing, because they're not engaging in any devotional service. They're just simply sitting and doing. At the same time, you see another form of sadhus who are taken sannyasi but going around doing nonsense. All right? Speculating, teaching all these nonsense things and everything. They also cannot be happy. All right? So it says, that means by simply renouncing all activity, simply give up everything, but you don't engage in devotional service, cannot make one happy. By the same time, he says, but a thoughtful person, that means a thoughtful person means the intelligent person who can think. All right? He engage in devotional service, can achieve the supreme without delay. So which is better now? So is it okay for me to become a sannyasi? Like somebody says, oh, you go to Hare Krishna, you take sannyasi, you become sannyasi, become monk. No, it's not that. So what Krishna says very clearly, he says that simply become sannyasi is waste of time. You can never be happy. So you rather, that means the thoughtful person, means, okay, that means the yoga yukti munir Brahma. Munir Brahma, that means the thoughtful person, the intelligent person. What he do? He engage in devotional service. He simply engage in devotion. Like what? Like now you're sitting and listening to the class. It's devotional service. And after you finish the class, you're going to take out the Bhagavad Gita, you're going to go on to study what you have studied today. Okay, because what you have studied, you want to like go into in-depth studies. Right? Then after that, you're going to take your chanting back and start to chant Hare Krishna. Okay? Then after that, maybe you want to listen back to the lecture, or you want to listen to this. Then you like that, but you're still actively involved in your family life. You know, you cook for your father, husband, you cook for your children, or you go out, you do your job, everything. You still maintain that. But you're adding on this thing. That means you're listening to Bhagavad Gita, you're studying Bhagavad Gita, you're chanting Hare Krishna. Right? So just by doing this, it says, Krishna says that he can achieve the supreme without delay. That means you do not need to wait. You do not need to wait for another birth. You do not need to take many births. Yesterday, like see the yoga ladder, right? How many births are you going to take to achieve that? But he says, when you simply engage in devotional service, you can achieve the supreme without delay. So it's not, so many people want to achieve the supreme, they go and become a sannyasi and everything. So it's not necessary. All right, it doesn't work that way. So by being like this, it's better to be like this. Simply sing and chant and be happy. All right. So now let's look at 5.7. So in 5.7, Krishna says, Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvanapi na lipyate. So now what Krishna says here, one who works in devotion. So what happens when a person works in devotion? Who is a pure soul, who control his mind and senses, is dear to everyone. And everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a person is never entangled. Okay, now, how are you going to apply this in your personal life? So let's study this verse first. So one who works in devotion. That means, what is my devotion? That means I know I'm not this body, but I need to work, I need to engage, I need to take care of my family. That's my duty as a husband or wife. So that's my duty. So I'm doing my job. But whatever things I'm doing my job, I'm just offering it to Krishna. I'm just sacrificing to Vishnu. Okay. Just like I said, when you make some little money, you just give a little donation, or you can buy a Bhagavad Gita for yourself and start to distribute the Bhagavad Gita. Then after that, you start to like, or example, like for instance, you go and talk to people, your excitement, your suffering can be solved if you study Bhagavad Gita. So all these kind of things, right? So that means you start to work in devotion. So those who can do that is usually they are pure soul. So you do not need to wonder, am I a pure soul or not? Look, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, am I really a pure soul? If you're not that, you won't be able to be here. Trust me. All right. So there is some contamination. Example, when you look at the mirror is clear, the mirror is clean, but there is dust. So when there's a dust on the mirror, is that mean that mirror is dirty? Is that mean that mirror is useless? Is that means that I need to throw the mirror and buy a new mirror? All right. So when you look at the mirror, it's dusty and dirty. So is that mean that mirror is useless? Is that mean the mirror is not pure, it's not doing the job? No, it is only covered by dust. So what you need to do, you simply need to clean the dust, cleansing the dust of the mirror. So when you clean the dust in the mirror, you start to see your original self, the way that you look. When you look at yourself, wow. If not with dust, you can't see a clear picture of you. So like that, we are cleansing the dust in our heart, the mirror in our heart. So when we are looking at the mirror, so that means when you go and later you go and see yourself in the mirror, do not think that you are an ordinary person or you are some kind of conditioned person. Even yes, you are conditioned. All of us are conditioned because we have conditioned life. We have some conditioning. We have our belief system. I believe in this. I believe in that. This is the way of my life. This is the way I pray. This is how my family members, my tradition, I pray in that way. That's conditioning, yes. For you to break that conditioning is not easy. I agree with you. Sometimes, oh, why should I pray like this? Why not like that? Why this? Why that? So this is all conditioning. All right. So all this conditioning is just like a dust in the mirror. So but still you're sitting here means you just need to clean the dust in the mirror. That's when you start to see your original self. So you are the pure soul. Okay. And only the thing covering you is some dust. So when you start to engage yourself in devotional service, that kind of dust is getting cleared off and your original self can be seen. All right. So what happened to who are the pure soul? Okay. The one who control his mind and senses. All right. He doesn't allow his mind and senses to go out of control. Okay. He doesn't make this because that's why we say we chant Hare Krishna. Why we chant Hare Krishna? To purify our mind. Okay. Our mind is always agitated. Right. So we purify our mind. We are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Then we read Bhagavad Gita for what? To purify our intelligence. So when our mind and intelligence both are purified, we become very sober. Okay. So when a person becomes very sober, that person becomes very dear to everyone. Everyone like to be with you because you don't have any ulterior motive. Yes or not? And of course, then even though you're always working, even though that you're working in whatever situation you are, maybe as a doctor or as a teacher, or maybe I got a person working in oil rig. That person is the most preferred person because such a lovely person, because he got no ulterior motive. Okay. So that means although he's working, such a man is never entangled. Although he's working there, he never entangled. Okay, give him a good example. That means these are the people who are devotees who would never endeavor to do some crazy overtime. Especially the doctors do crazy overtime. Okay, I got a doctor, devotee. I was just coming. She works 36 hours non-stop, then take 8 hours break. Then another 36 hours non-stop, then take another 8 hours break. What kind of life is that? Okay, because of stress and depression. Right? Some people are depressed and they tend to stay away from life. But some people who are stressed, they tend to overwork. So I'm just giving quote about this. People are overworking, non-stop, 15, 20 hours. Just come back and sleep. The next day, wake up, just go and work. Right? So these are the people who are working so hard for what? For some extra income so they can have extra sense gratification. But when a person who understands himself, understand his constitutional position, that he's simply working to maintain his family and maintain his this thing, so he never over endeavor. So that means he never would like work this kind of crazy way of life, 6 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours of job. He simply work within that quota, within that quota that he have. Unless he's required, he do some extra overtime. Then after that, he immediately come back home and engage himself. So these kind of people never thought of betraying others. You know, I've been in a corporate world before. I'm also an advisor. I mean, I'm a what they call just the phone rang. What is that? I'm a business strategist. I used to teach people about strategy. What are the business strategy? Was involved in some corporate way. And in corporate world, you know, what is the way that you rise? You know, what is the ladder to success? You know, when you want to, there's a ladder for you to come up. But in the ladder to go up, that corporate world, you know what? On people's seat, you have to step on somebody's seat that you climb to another round. So you have to betray someone so you can go to the next level. Then that level, you betray that person, you go. So you go on betraying and backstabbing and all these things. That is a standard. Of course, I don't say it. Everybody does that. But that is a standard. You want to make it big. And when you ask, they say, it's a business world. And they say business world is a cunning world. Right? So everybody knows. So they don't trust each other and they're always doubting each other. Why suddenly this person giving me? Why this person suddenly become so friendly? Why the fellow is giving me water? Did he do any jibumba inside the water? So these kind of thoughts, everything is very common. All right. But a devotee who engage himself in this, so what he does, he's not bothered about all these things. He doesn't bother about climbing the ladder, stepping on people's head and everything. His job, simply go to the work, perform his duty and come back. All right. So that's why he says, though always working, such a man is never entangled. So he got nothing entanglement that in this thing. Okay. Now, so what example that Krishna give? How that we work without we are getting engaged is like this. Brahmanyadaya karmani sangang tyaktva karotiya lipyate nasa papena patma patram evam basa. Patma means lotus. Patra means leaf. So one who performs his duty without attachment. Just think about it. When you simply do your job without being attached to it. All right. Surrendering the result unto the Supreme Lord. Whatever things that happen, you just surrender to Krishna. Is unaffected by sinful action. You're not affected by the sin. Okay. As the lotus leaf is untouched by water. You know, the lotus flower leaf is floating in the water, but it's not touched by the water. When there's a water on top, it will just like flow away. It's untouched, even though it's floating in the water. So that's the example how Krishna gave. Padma patram evam basa. So one who performs his duty without attachment. So now you may ask, hey, this doesn't look like, that means it looks like I have to be very irresponsible. Maybe I simply do my job, but I don't take any responsibility. Okay. Or I do my job, and without, how can you perform your job without attachment? Right? For instance, I have to be attached in order to have that passion, right? If I'm a doctor, when the patient sitting right in front of me, I have a passion to heal that person. Right? If I don't have attachment, I just touch, I take Panadol and go. That is so shows irresponsible. Yes or not? Because people ask me that question. So now let's see. What is attachment? What is attachment and irresponsibility? So perform your duty and being detached from that result. That means I perform my job, but I'm detached from the result. That is called detachment. Okay, you understand? That means I perform my duty. I go, I serve, I do my job. Right? But I don't expect any result from that. Whatever may come, good or bad, let it come. But when I do my duty, I have to perform it 100%. That's why they say duty. Perform your duty. That's why Krishna never mentioned it, Prabhupada never mentioned it, perform your work. Because your work means you can do as you like if you don't like. But what is duty? Duty is beyond work. Okay? In the line of duty, in army they call. The duty call. Okay, when a person say like, for instance, okay, what are you working as? oh, I'm a soldier. Say, if you just say being a soldier is a job, example. So suddenly there's a problem in the border. So now they say the commander calling, okay, all cancel your job and come back to the border. We need to protect the country. So what you say? Hey, no, la, this is my work, la. No need, la. No, commander, I will just go and look for a practitioner and get MC. Doctor, give me 2 day MC. You can't do that, right? Because it's a call of duty. Duty means no matter what, drop everything and go and perform it. That's why they call it as duty. The line of duty. All right, I'm just doing my duty. All right, and people say I'm doing my job is different, but I'm just performing my duty. Duty means something that you have to do, and how you do it with full commitment, full concentration. It's not simply tadapa attitude, just do as you like and it come out. That's not duty. All right. So when a person duty means, that means when you are performing your job, your duty, you perform it 101%. You don't, there's no cut this thing. Okay. Example, when you're supposed to work for 8 hours, you show 100% commitment in your 8 hours job. It is not just like, okay, 8 o'clock, okay, 10 o'clock, go for tea, just lepa there, come back. I said, can you take care? I just go, I just go for some this thing. No, that is all. That's not duty. The duty means 100% concentration. So when a devotee start to perform his job, perform his duty means he's performing 100%. In that 8 hours, he doesn't cut corner. He doesn't cut corner. He just perform 100%. This is my duty and I work 100%. All right. So when first you have to do your duty and detach from that. But what is irresponsibility? Irresponsibility means detaching yourself before you perform the duty. You have not even do your duty, but you're detaching yourself. That is called irresponsibility. A man who are married, say a married man, he perform his duty to his wife and children. He have to work, he have to take care of his wife, he have to provide for his wife, provide for his children and everything. That's the duty of a man. All right? That is called duty. But whatever result, one day my children are going to take care of me. When I get old, my children are going to look after me. I got 4 children. All the children will take care of me. Every 3 months, I go and stay in one child. So 1 year is gone. So, okay, I give them good education so that they will be very millionaire. And each of them, 4 of them going to share and buy me a Mercedes. That is not recommended. So what do? I just perform my duty. Do your best. You see, whatever success is yours. I don't take any credit. That is called duty. But sometimes we hear, having wife and children are so leche, my children are so terrible. My wife is so terrible. No need. So before you could perform your duty, you are renouncing, you are detaching yourself. That is called irresponsibility. Now you all understand the difference. You must know this very well. Even whoever that here working, performing your duty, you must perform it 100%. All right. And that the result of the duty, you just offer it to Krishna. Whether it's going to be favorable to you or unfavorable to you, just offer it to Krishna. But trust me, all right? I'm not going to give you a fake hope. But when you perform your job without expectation, you perform it 100%, you see a result unbelievable. Right? So when you do that, so that means you are unaffected by sinful action. See, in job, sometimes there's be sin. Yes or not? You need to tell a lie. You need to this thing, so on the way to work, maybe you might hit a cat or dog. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that creates it. But even that, you just simply perform your duty and just offer the thing to Krishna. That means all that sin that may occur in your transaction on that day is taken care. So you're untouched by the sin, unaffected. That means you don't have affection. You are not affected. But what happens if you take everything for yourself? That's it. Okay. So now 5:12. Okay, what's the time? You want to take a short break? Or 10 o'clock? Shall we take a short break? Because people's grass is around 1 hour. So if you take 5 minutes, you can be fresh again. All right. Shall we take a short break? All right. So now it's 10:05. Just take 2 or 3 minutes and we come back. Is it recording? Did I record this?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. I couldn't find where's the recording. Okay. All right. So Hare Krishna, let's continue. So let's contemplate on, it reminds me about that devotee who asked that question earlier regarding that, remember when we were in the first session, I said that I will talk about it in chapter 3 or chapter 5, right? About that situation with the husband. So now let's look at this. How you can create peace in your family life. So when you have expectation, that's when we are all fall into anxiety. Okay. So we have to simply perform our duty. Example, like she was telling the husband was drinking and she wanted to stop that this thing, but looks like the husband says, don't interfere in my life. Okay. So that's the thing. So what is that peace formula? Okay. How you can create what they call harmony in married life according to this understanding. Number one, we as a wife, so what we do, or as a husband, whatever it is, husband and wife, our job is to okay, say example, okay, we just take her as an example. So she has to simply love that husband and be affectionate to the husband, but don't expect any result for him to reciprocate to you. Okay, just simply do your job. Okay, cook for him, take care of him, the children, just even with the children also. What happened when you become so attached to the children? Okay, remember in chapter 3, we showed about that person who committed suicide because of attachment, because the grandchildren are not coming and all these things, so attachment. So this is the way of being not attached to the result. You simply perform. When the time that you're supposed to be doing your job as a wife, performing your duty as a wife, you perform it 100%. All right, without cutting any shortcut. There's no shortcut. Just perform 100% duty as a wife. Okay, and the result of that, you just simply sacrifice to Vishnu and says, look here, I've done my job. Okay, whatever good or bad is entirely yours. You just simply surrender to Krishna. Okay, you simply surrender to Krishna and you start to see the result is unbelievable. I'm not speaking this based on theory. Okay, I'm saying based on some lot of practical example. Okay, for instance, like in my story, right? When I got married to my wife, that's when we found out, it was proposed by my father, but after that we found out that my wife and I don't have compatibility. Okay, according to the Jadagam, the Portham, 0. Okay, there's 0 compatibility. Okay, and that astrologer says that both of you cannot get married because there's no Portham. Out of 16 Portham or the 10 principal Portham or compatibility, you have 0. Looks like both of you cannot get married. No way you can get married. Even if you're married, your marriage will never last. Or even if you're married, you will never have a child. You won't have children because the Yoni Purtam, one of the important Purtam also is not there, 0. Now, so that's the thing. But the thing is, I always believe anything that come across me is mercy of Krishna, and Krishna simply preparing this kind of situation for me. When my wife heard that, she was very upset. She said, oh, how? We have no Purtam and everything. Now, look, I said, look here. I believe that Krishna brought you to me, introduced you to me, and he has a higher purpose. So we don't expect any result. Okay. We simply perform our spiritual duty, okay, as husband and wife, and the result we offer it to Krishna. Okay. We offer the result to Krishna and we don't get entangled and we don't get carried away with this. Okay. So now, by the grace of Krishna, by the blessings of Krishna and Sadhu and my spiritual master and all these things, I'm married for the last 20 years. All right. This 11th December is my 20th year, wedding anniversary. And I have 4 children. And our relationship is going more and more stronger day by day because we keep Krishna in the middle and we don't have anything other than Krishna. So that means we just simply perform our duty as a wife. When she comes back home, she performs her duty as a wife. She wakes up early, she cooks and everything. And I perform my duty as a husband. So when we are simply performing our duty, we sacrifice all that benefit, whatever it is, we offer it to Krishna. And just like this. So there's no entanglement, there's no issue. So this is the same process I've advised people who want to like seeking a divorce, right? They come for a second opinion. And I used to tell them. So the problem is when there's a clashes of ego. When the problem starts, when there is what they call expectation. Expectation is there. So just if you're a wife, just perform your duty as a wife. And when you offer all your result to Krishna, you will never believe I have seen a person who have a very terrible husband, nasty guy, right? But because she's just this thing, and that person has now turned into a gem of men. And similarly, I know a person who have a wife, a terror wife. you know, he used to say, my wife is my curse. I don't know why Krishna cursed me with his wife. But what he did, I said, very simple. Do you have a choice? Nah? If you divorce and all this, is it going to be very favorable? No children and everything. I said, you're going to start back again. You want to get married. You want to see the girl fall in love again and get married. Are you sure you want to do that? They say, what should I do? Just don't do anything. Just leave everything to Krishna and just perform your duty. So he go to work, he come back, he take care of his wife, whatever. He just do. That means, and he don't expect any result. So when you don't expect, you offer the result to Krishna. So whenever he come, Krishna shout, the wife shouts at him, right? The wife come up, shout, and he just, oh, Krishna, you are making her to shout at me. I feel that she's chanting Hare Krishna. But now after some time, they are beautiful couple now. That's why I say, don't expect. That's why you not when you look at this verse, when you go deep into it, you will realize so many things. It is beyond your conception, beyond your understanding. Just perform your duty. What is your duty? Your prescribed duty. If you are a husband, your prescribed duty is look after your wife and your children. As a wife, you have to look after your husband and your children. So like that, just perform your duty. And the result, you simply offer it to Krishna. And you start to see the amount of tremendous peace of life, peace of mind that you're going to get. Okay, your family life, even your job, your business. All right, but don't run away from your duty. We will study that as we go on. Krishna says, never give up your duty, even it looks very troublesome. All right. So with that thought, let's continue our discussion. All right. Now let's look at this. 5.12. Yukta karma palang tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibadhyate. The steadily devoted soul attain unadulterated peace. Okay. Because he is offered the result of all activities to me. Now let's look at this. A steadily devoted soul. So that means a person who is steadily devoted to the Lord, he attains unadulterated peace. What is unadulterated? That means the peace, see, for instance, unadulterated means there's some, it is 100% peace. Adulteration means what? Some kind of pollution. Say, example, they say, don't drink that water, the water is adulterated. Or don't eat that, it looks adulterated. Or sometimes they say, oh, the food is adulterated. What does it mean? That means they have put something impurity into the food, into the preparation. All right, like Ajinomoto, you put is adulterated. That means they have changed the thing, which is going to be bad for yourself. So now Prabhupada used this was unadulterated means the peace which is not affected by any kind of negative things is 100% peace. All right. So when a person was steadily devoted, okay, he attains unadulterated peace. You're going to have a tremendous peace because he offers the result of all activities. Everything he offers to Krishna. Can you imagine? If you don't believe, try and see. Because these suggestions from Krishna, not from me, not from anyone else. All right? A person who are doing, what they call, in fact, I spoke to people who are doing counseling. I said, how do you counsel? Oh, this and that. I said, it doesn't work that way. When both party can work without expectation and perform your duty 100%, and whatever result, they simply offer it to the Lord, that's when they can achieve these kind of things. Because they don't take ownership. This is my thing, ownership problem. All right? They achieve unadulterated peace. Whereas a person who is not in union with divine, when a person is not in that devotional mentality, who is greedy, always think this is mine, 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 greedy of the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. So the person will become entangled. That means when the person sees that I am the doer, I am the this and this is my money, this is my life. No? Sometimes it's quite common in a family life. The husband says, that's my money. And the wife go and work and come back. She says, this is my money. With my money, I do whatever I want. The husband says, yeah, with my money, I do whatever I want. That's when the entanglement starts. When everybody is greedy for the fruits of his labor. The fruits means the benefit, the benefit of his job, the income, whatever it is, he becomes entangled. That's when he gets stuck. Okay, this is very straightforward. 13. Then after that, Krishna says, Karmani Manasa. Why is keep changing? Am I clear? Am I clear?
Quite clear.
Did I break?
Very clear.
Okay. No, because it keeps saying that my microphone is changing. That's why I was wondering why. Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasyas Yaste Sukang Vashi Navadvare Pure Dehi Naiva Kurvan Nakarayan. Sarva Karmani Manasa. All right. So Sarva Karmani, all kind of, Sarva means all, varieties. Karmani means activity. All right. Manasa means mind. Sanyasa, that means renouncing. Sukam, happiness. Vasi. Navadvare. Navadvare means 9 holes. Nava means 9. Dvare means hole. All right. Naiva kurvan na karayan. So that means when the embodied living being control his nature. So when the embodied means the person who are, that means we have given a body, right? Controlled his nature. When he can control his nature and mentally, that means he control his nature. That means control his nature, but in his mind, mentally renounce all action. That means renounce all action means I'm what they call, I'm doing, right? I'm in control of my nature. This is my job. I'm doing my job. I did it. But in my mind, I don't take any ownership. I just simply renounce the action. Whatever things I do, what renounce means, you have to give up. Give up to who? Give up to the Lord. Give it to the Lord. Right? So I just renounce the action. No, I just give it to you. Okay? You all understand this? Just like sometimes a man works and come back home, bring the salary and give it to the wife. No, it's quite common, right? And I'm not sure now, it's very rare, but those days it's common that way. The man works, come back and take the entire money and give it to the wife. So he gives the wife money, entire money. He just give it to the wife. Action. But in his mind, he renounced. He said, this mind, okay, I've done my job. I go and work. I come back. I brought the money and give it to my wife. So I renounce my action. I don't care. Well, how you're going to spend is entirely her decision. All right, just like that. So when the person is control his nature, but mentally renounce his action. So he resides happily in the city of 9 gates. So what is that city of 9 gates? See, in our human body, we got 9 holes. What are the holes in our body? Eye, 2, nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nostril. Number 5 is mouth. 6, 7. So 2 eyes, nose. There's a 2 hole in your nose. All right, that's already 4. The mouth is 1 hole, 5. And your 2 ears is 6, 7. 8 and 9 is your genital and anus. All right, your genital and anus, this is a hole, right? So genital and the anus. So this total of 9. So that's called Navadvare. So that means he lives happily in the city of 9 gates or material body. This is called the total thing called material body. Okay. So for them, neither working nor causing work to be done. So neither they work or causing work to be done. So because they are already in peace within himself. So now let's look at 18. All right. So now this is another important verse here. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shunichaiva shvapakecha pandita samadarshana. See, there are always an accusation say that in Bhagavad Gita is a place where they speak on racism or caste system. All right. They say that the Vedic literature is polluted by caste. High caste, low caste, and outcast. Jadi. Male jadi, kil jadi, talnda jadi. Right? So that is the thing that always they say. Okay, there's Ambedkar, a great Indian reformer. Say he always like to quote from Bhagavad Gita and says, and it has this kind of thing called the caste system. All right, it is totally unfair. All right, the low caste people are not allowed to do this. Now tell me, where is that? Now in 5:18, Krishna said very clearly, Vidya. Vidya means knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Vinaya, Sampanne. Brahmane, the Brahmana, Gavihastini, Shunichaiva Shvapakecha, Pandita, the intelligent people, Pandita, Pandidar, Samadarshana, equal sight. So what it says here, a humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge. What is that true knowledge? The knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, the true knowledge, right? That I am not this body, that I am a spirit soul. The body is given to me as a vehicle in this birth. All right. End of the life, I'm going to give up this body and I'm going to accept another. Like that, everyone around me is going through the same thing. All right. So they have that kind of knowledge, the true knowledge. And what these people do, see with equal vision. All right. Equal vision means what? Pandita Sama Darshana. Sama Darshana means with equal vision. Samam Darshana. All right. Equal vision. That means they see everyone equally. Who? The gentle Brahmana, a Brahmana. Okay, the Brahmana is sitting, a gentle Brahmana. A cow, an elephant, a dog, and the dog eater. Dog eater is outcast, Chandala. Those who eat dogs are Chandalas. So what is that be by outcast? So dog eaters are the people who don't have any cleanliness in themselves. Right? So they are always that put aside because they are so dirty and nasty and they don't have proper behavior. Okay? So these are the people who are considered outcasts. So they see them in equal vision. Can you imagine? It says that see them in equal vision. That means, is there any discrimination? There's no discrimination in the sight. So the person who are really well learned, they see a person who are Brahmana and even the outcast Chandala, Kil Jadi, Talda Jadi, all right, the Kil Jadi guy, the Chandala, and even the cows and elephant and even the dog, they see them with equal vision. Because in everyone's heart, there resides Lord Vishnu in the form of Paramatma. So tell me, where is that caste discrimination is in Bhagavad Gita? All this you should know. In the future, when you come across all this kind of nonsense thing, especially from South India, right? The demoniac government of Stalin and his family, and this guy, what they call this Periyar, there's another rascal, all right? The Periyar movement, all these crazy people, they are trying to defame. They said to destroy Sanatan Dharma and all these things. So now, the question is, where did they found all that? That's why they are foolish. Their intelligence stolen by illusion. So what are the extreme people who have extreme? Okay, we talk about the level of foolishness. First, we call stupid. Above that, we call idiotic. And above that, we call foolishness. Foolish people. First is stupid, idiotic, foolish. And the extreme people, extreme idioticity. The extreme stupid people, what do we call? We call them rascal. Rascal is not a bad word. Rascal means they are extremely stupid. Right? The extreme foolishness is called rascal. So now we see that all the South Indians and all these poets, Tamil poets, all these are first-class rascals. Right? First-class rascals. So they always try to quote where these. But now the question is, where did you find that? Maybe there is some interpretation of Bhagavad Gita that previously some people should have done some kind of nonsense things. That's why Bhagavad Gita as it is important. Because Krishna said very clearly, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. That means those who are very intelligent. They've seen the truth. Brahmana, the Brahmana, Gavi, Hastini, that means the cow and this thing, the elephant. All right? Shunichaiva, Swapakecha. That means all the living entities, even, that means and the one Pandita. Pandita means the one really intelligent in the right knowledge. Sama Darshana, they see everyone equally. So in this tradition of Vaishnava tradition, we do not see or follow the caste system. We are totally against it. Why we need to against it? It doesn't even exist. All right? It doesn't even exist. All right? That's why when you look at all the previous, like when you see the story of Raghavendra, right? I think all of you should have watched that movie Raghavendra, right? When he brought the boy from the low caste and started to teach them Vedas, everybody ran away. All the higher caste so-called flush, they just renounce him. Right? The same thing happened during that Mahakavi Bharati. Right? When he called all the people and start to teach them this thing, everybody start to outcast him. Because this thing doesn't even exist in Shastra. There are division. And what is the division? Example, if you are a CEO of a company, you will never make friend with a janitor. Who's janitor? The one who washes your bathroom, washes your lawn and everything, right? Because you are, as a CEO, you have an association of CEO. The CEO doesn't even want to associate with managers or doesn't want to even associate with the normal workers. They have their group, right? Then again, that you see that the managers, they have their own group. The workers have their own group. So they stay and live among themselves. So is that discrimination? Right? Because it's the nature of the job, duty, right? Say like, for instance, if I'm a devotee, I like to associate with devotees. I like to see another devotee. I like to associate with them. Is that mean that I'm discriminating the karmis? No. Because that's the nature. Like the bird of same feather flock together. The person with same consciousness will stick together. But But sometimes that's the thing. But the problem is the people is depends. Okay, example. Oh, like I used to challenge this guy. Said, oh, I don't know. The caste system. This I said, no, you don't understand. I said, can you just simply sit beside a bum, right? The floor, drunk and sleep on the roadside. Can you go and sit with him, put your hand around him, and be friend with him? When you go near him, you can't stand the smell. You run away. So is it a discrimination? Because the nature. But a pure devotee of the Lord, they see the potential in them. That means they have that Vishnu in their heart as Paramatma. They know that every individual have that quality of the Lord. Okay, we are the spirit soul and the super soul. What is the difference? What is the difference between you and Paramatma? What is the difference between the fire and the spark? Fire and the spark, both are fire. What is the difference between the ocean and the drop of seawater? Both are sea, both are distinct, salty. All right. So, but the drop of seawater compared with the vast ocean, there's only difference is quantity. Because this is only a drop and that's a vast ocean. Similarly, what is the difference between you and God? You are same, you are equal. But qualitatively, you are equal. But quantitatively, you are not equal. Because we are just a minute soul. But Krishna is a super soul. Param Atma. Param Atma means supreme Atma. Param means supreme. Super soul. Supreme Atma. And I am Jiva Atma. Jivatma. A tiny drop. So you still have that quality of the Lord. All right. Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Sat means eternal. Chit means full of knowledge. Ananda Vigraha means blissful body. So Krishna is known as Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Satchidananda Vigraha. It's spoken by Lord Brahma, 5.1. Brahma Sanghita. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So Satchit Ananda. So Satchit Ananda Vigraha means that is Krishna is eternal. Sat means eternal. Chit means full of knowledge. The body is all full of knowledge. And Ananda Vigraha, beautiful form. And that same form, you also have it. We also have it. That's Satchit Ananda Vigraha. But we are minute. But our beautiful existence is covered with this body, this material body. It is just like a most beautiful person driving a junk car. All right. Just imagine Mr. Malaysia or Miss Malaysia, or Miss World, Miss Universe. Suddenly go into the car which is like broken, right? Like a broken car. All right. So is that mean that car is ugly? Is that means the person who drives that car is ugly? The most prettiest person is driving in a very ugly car. So the same thing. So we are having this body which is so much of condition, with so much of limitation. But our original constitution is we are unlimited. We are all pervasive. We are everywhere. All right? Because we can take birth in any form of life. Even I give up this body, next birth I can even born as a cancer cell. Even I can be born as a COVID bacteria, virus. All right? Oh, HIV virus. All these are viruses, all living entities. All right? It can take any form. All right. So the pure devotee or Pandita or Pandit, they can see everyone in equal vision. They see that every living entity doesn't mean that fellow is a Chinese, Indian, Malay, or whatever background he's from, even Aborigine. Everyone has that spiritual potency in them, but they are in forgetfulness. All right. So 518, think about it. There's no caste, there's no creed. The caste system is just to simply showing yourself as great by how to show yourself as great when you suppress someone. Right or not? I am a great person. So how am I say okay, like say I'm a leader. You are a leader means you lead someone. You need to lead someone. And who is that someone? You need to have a follower. If I want to be a leader, I have to have a follower. If I don't have anything at back, I just walk by myself. What kind of leader is that? When you don't have followers. Similarly, when you want to show your supremacy, you have to suppress someone. You have to step on someone. You have to suppress someone to show I am from a better caste. Because my uncle and my distinct, they were extremely this kind of condition. Because being born in a so-called, all right, fantastic, high class Chettiar family. All right. They say, oh, we are this. I said, because I'm the first in the family. Even my father had the same thought, but I went extreme. I said, I'm against this because it's not mentioned in the Vedas. I'm not simply against it out of sentiment, but I am against it because it's not mentioned in the Shastras. If the Shastra says, yes, there's a caste system, I will follow the caste system. But the Shastra says the caste system is only a division of your job. It's got nothing to make a person. That means nothing to like identify the person's character because he's born in so and so caste. It's not mentioned that way. That's what Prabhupada went there and he proved that point. He went and took the most lowest of the lowest human being, who are a hippie, who don't even take bath, who always high on drugs, and they have random sex. They don't have any control. They are living like an animal. And he took them and he said, look here, you all are living like an animal. Right? They said, now at least become a human being. What I should do? Go and take your bath. People are bathing after months of not bathing, after weeks of not bathing. All right. Then after that, what is the second thing? Cut your hair short because they used to have a long hair, the hippies. Then I give you one mantra, a drug that you can stay high forever. Hare Krishna. Wow, so good. Then after they say, wake up early in the morning. What? Early in the morning, wake up and come for morning prayer. Then after that, he says, you must follow the 4 regulatory principles. And what is that? Number 1, no meat eating. Okay, because for Americans, meat is something very staple, must eat. I say, okay, meat, okay, no, fair enough. And no fish. Well, okay. No egg. Okay, right, fair enough, no problem. No meat eating, okay. Then after that, he dropped another bomb. He said, no intoxication. I said, what does that mean? No coffee, no tea, no alcohol, and no cigarette. What? Okay, alcohol, drugs, all that, fair enough. No coffee? Yes, no coffee. Well, okay. Then after that, he dropped another 3rd bomb. No gambling. Don't gamble. Okay, because gambling is bad. Well, fair enough. People don't gamble. Okay, fair enough. I don't bet. I don't play bingo. I don't go to KTM, Kuda Toto Magnum. I don't tekan my Nobo Echo and all. Okay, fair enough. Fair. Okay, fair. Okay, now. At last, he dropped another bomb. No illicit sex. So, what? No sex. You can have sex, but if you are authorized, you have to marry. You have to get married, and you have to, that's when you have license to have sex. And that sex also to produce children, not as you wish. Say, what? So can I have sex with my girlfriend? You want to have sex with her? You get married to her. Marriage? Oh, this thing. So when Prabhupada once he said, when I was imposing these 4 rules, I really thought they're going to chase me back to India. They said, Swamiji, you are very old man. For you, everything doesn't matter, but we are young people. This really matters. But they accepted it. That is the power of sadhu. Because he never discriminate them. Then after that, he initiate them. After initiation, they gave him a second initiation. And what is the second initiation? Brahmin initiation. The second Brahmin initiation, they will put a thread, the sacred thread around the neck, and they will give them a secret mantra, a Brahmin mantra. So what we understand from here? So the Brahmana is to be true initiation. It's not by birth. They used to say, Atimbel and all the Brahminical language. No, it's not by birth. But of course, people born in a Brahmana family somehow have that quality. But today, the Brahmana family is all rotten. The biggest leather manufacturer and distributor in India is from this family. Can you imagine cow leather? So it's not by birth. A person can be born the lowest of the lowest, Chandalas, lowest of the birth. All right? But he can be elevated to the highest position. Right? The Veda says, what the Shastra says that? He said a person can be born into the lowest of the lowest. But once the person start to practice bhakti, all right, when he become a devotee, when he become a pure devotee, by washing his lotus feet, by doing pada puja, you take the water and sprinkle on your head. Liberation is guaranteed. Can you imagine? Liberation is guaranteed. It is not to say, oh, the fellow is born dead. No, no such thing. Example, there's one of the Prabhupada disciple was giving initiation to these people in Denmark, right? Denmark, what is the place? It's a Scandinavian, Sweden. All right. And they're basically, mostly they are from the barbarian descendant. So before the initiation, that Guru asked, Guru asked that girl, said, now tell me about your life. Who are you and everything? He said, Guru Maharaj, I born in the family of cannibal. Say, what? Cannibal. That means we eat human being. So my grandmother, because there's a sea, that a Red Sea or something, right? Herning Sea. So the sea is always very what they call very rough. And sometimes the ship, if the able captain don't maintain the ship can capsize. So all the body will be washed to the shore. So he said, we take that body, we eat. And especially my grandmother said, the eyeball of a British is tastiest of all. And the Guru, hey, don't tell me further. I don't want to hear anything. And by your mercy, Guru Maharaj, and the mercy of Prabhupada, I being born in the family of cannibal. They are what can you eating dog itself, you're considered outcast. Imagine you eat human being. Where do you stand? Right? And I'm accepting this initiation. And now that person is one of the fantastic devotee. So that's the thing. So we must always remember the super soul present in all body without distinction. The super soul even present in the body of a worm that lives in the stool. Sometimes in the stool you see there's worm, right? Dog shit or cat shit. Even the super soul lives in that. So there's no distinction about it. This is what the teachings of Bhagavad Gita we should really remember. 19. Then after that, continue. Ihaiva tair jita sargo yeshang sangye stitang mana nirdosham hi samang brahma tasmat brahmani te stita. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity. That means the mind is same and equanimity, right? Have already conquered the condition of birth and death. Can you imagine? When the person who can think like this is already conquered the condition of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman. They look so flawless. They look so beautiful. And thus they are already situated in Brahman. Even though he's taken a human born, they are considered liberated. Just imagine this Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and see the people around, all hippies. Can you see the face of this lady? See how she look? She is high on drugs. Okay. Look at all these people. Most of them, some of them are drug addicts. They all are hippies. See how terribly they look. And Srila Prabhupada simply sat in the middle and created an environment where all these people around became pure devotee of the Lord. Can you imagine? I'm having a goosebump. That is that power. All right. 22. So, yehi samparsha jaboga dukkha yonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nate shuramate buddha. So now 522 Krishna says, you know what he says? An intelligent person, a person who have intelligence does not take part in source of misery. They don't simply get involved, something that's going to give them suffering. All right. Which are due to contact with material senses. Right. With all the material senses, they don't get entangled, right? Such pleasure have a beginning and an end. Any pleasure that you have in this world, there's a beginning. After that, there's also an end. And so the wise man does not delight in them. The intelligent man does not delight in them, right? Anything that we do, we start, there's a happiness. All right, it starts when it's so excitement. Just imagine now I'm buying a brand new car. All right, there's so much of happiness, right? Then what they call, then after that, I buy that Mercedes. Then I was driving that car and everything. So happy. But one day, after 10 years, the car become disabled. I have to throw the car away. I have to sell it off and get a new car. So that means in everything, there's a beginning and there's an end. In this world, anything, there's always an end to it. Nothing you say, oh, I'm going to keep it forever. Right? So these are 5 examples that we can see in this photo here. The first example is moth. In Tamil, we call easel. At night, when the thing will come. So the moth is attracted by the sense of eye, sight. Because we have 5 senses. Eyes, sight, hearing, smelling, tongue, tasting, and touch. All right, we got 5 senses. So now let's see how the living entity entangle himself through the 5 senses. Now the first thing we call moth or easel. So the moth always get attracted to bright light. So it always like light. He was always like to enjoy the senses of eyes. Like sometimes we also like to go and see cinema. We like to see pretty girls. We like to go and see some fireworks. We like to see something beautiful, right? So like that, the easel, the moth attracted to the fire, like say, oh, beautiful. bright light, boom, they go into the fire and get killed. So they die because of the eyes. And this is a kind of animal. I've still haven't got the name of this animal. I don't know, hare or something. It's a kind of deer. And this deer, right, it always attracts through the
It's a
to
stag.
the
Stag.
stag. Okay.
STAG.
STAG, all right, stag. So this is an animal called stag, STAG. This animal always get attracted to beautiful music. All right. So an expert hunter, you know how they trap the stag? They hunt the stag using the flute. They play the flute. Beep, 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 beep. And the stag says, where is that music? Oh my God, where's the music? And just follow the thing. It go there, get trapped and get killed. So the stag get killed because of the senses of the ears. You want to listen to something beautiful. Okay, the material sensor. Now let's look at this. Can you see in the hole what is inside there? It's an elephant. How you trap an elephant? All right. You make a hole, you cover it, and you put a female elephant there. And suddenly the elephant come, oh yo, sexy girl, boom, fall into the hole. So why the elephant using sense of touch? Sense of touch means sex. All right, sense of touch. So it get entangled because of the sense of touch. Okay, the elephant is trapped. Now let's look at this. There's a bee in a lotus flower. Lotus flower has a kind of fragrance, and the bee always got attracted to that lotus flower. Oh, we want to take honey. No, once you go and sit in the lotus flower, the smell, the fragrance will make it become intoxicated. Oh my God, so beautiful, so nice. And at night, you know what happened? The lotus flower closes. Boom. Morning, night it closes. When the thing closes, the bee dies inside. So the bee dies because of the sense of the smell. And of course, look at the fish. Even in the river, in the sea, they have ample of food, ample of everything. But the fish is always looking for something new to eat, the sense of tongue. So when he takes something and throw, and the catch pop, that's it, the fish died because of the sense of the tongue. So out of all these 5 senses, people are becoming entangled. All right. So whatever happiness that you start with, everything ends in death, or there's always an ending. So these are the things. So how are we going to engage that in our spiritual this thing? Like this. So we're going to use our ears to hear Krishna Katha. We're going to use the nose to smell the flower offered to Krishna. All right. We use the sense of touch by decorating the Lord, and we are using the eyes to see the Lord. So like that, we are going to engage, and we're going to use the tongue to eat Krishna Prasadam. So like that, we are engaging all our 5 senses in an actual way, positive way. 23. Shaknoti haivaya suddum praksharira vimokshanan kama krodo bhavang vegang sayukta sasuki nara. So before giving up, then Krishna says very nicely, before giving up this present body, before you give up your body, that means before you die, if one is able to tolerate, if a person able to tolerate the urges, all right, the urges of the material senses, if he can tolerate the urges of material senses and check the force of desire, he can check the force, the desire that comes, and desire and anger. Okay, he is well situated and is happy in this world. Can you imagine? So Krishna says that kama krodha. Kama means desire, lust. Krodha means anger, uncontrolled anger. All right. So he says before a person give up his body, if one can able to tolerate means what? The thing will come, but you say no. All right. That's why they say learn how to say no. Yes or not? So you say no, and you can able to tolerate the urges, all right, of all the material senses, all the 5 senses, and also check the force of the desire. What is the force? The desire, the lust and the desire, and also anger. Okay, if you can control this, he's well situated in this and is happy in this world. All right. So because of desire, everyone is entangled. Because of anger, everything breaks up. Even the marriage, even the problem. You know, sometimes we see a husband and wife, all because of anger. Right? Because of anger, people go down and whack. I've told you the story about a prison. I used to go and preach before. I think I've not said the story. So once we went for a prison preaching, when they transferred the prison, Pudu prison went to Kajang. I'm talking about 96, 97. So a group of us went for a prison preaching program. So when there, we saw a group of person. Suddenly we met one prisoner, and that prisoner seems to be very intelligent. He could understand, he could quote the Vedas and everything. We were all surprised. Wow, a prisoner was so intelligent. Then after that, my friend asked, he said, what is the reason you end up here in prison? He said, one day a friend of mine said something bad about my mother. All right, he said something very nasty. I was very angry. I just gave him a slap, palm, one Thai slap. And that Thai slap killed him. He died. All right. So he was sentenced to 7 years in jail, murder without intention. He just gave a slap, but that fella died. But imagine the first slap until he died means krodha, uncontrolled anger. All right. So if we can just simply can check and balance this thing, we live happily in this world. Even though this place is a terrible place, but you can have happiness. So how you can do it? I always suggest to all the devotees to have a what they call a journal. Keep a journal. That means every day you just take a scrapbook, right? You write there what happened to you in this month. From morning till night, what happened? All right. Then base that in the studies, teachings of Bhagavad Gita and try to rectify. Oh, now I got angry here because of that situation. So every day you have to check your balance yourself. So when you can check your force, check your balance, and every day you start to see, you can start to rectify so many things which is so unwanted. Okay. And 26, Krishna also continues, Kama Krodha Vimuktanam Yatinam Yata Chetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam. He said, those who are free from anger and all material desire, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring, everyday endeavor, okay, முயற்சி பண்றது, for perfection, are assured of liberation in the supreme in very near future. So that means those who are free from anger. So you have to be really free from anger and all material desire. Right? All material desire, because all the material desire is going to create trouble for you. Who are self-realized, who knows yourself. I know who am I. And okay, I realize. Who are self-disciplined and who constantly endeavoring for perfection, they are assured of liberation. That means liberation is guaranteed for them in the supreme in a very near future. Very near future, at the time that you leave this body, your liberation is already guaranteed. All right. So I like to quote one from Upadesha Mrita, Nectar of Instruction by Jiva Goswami. He says, Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam udaro pasta vegam, etan vegan yo vishaheta diraha, sarvam apimam prithivim sashishyat. What happens when a person can tolerate? So a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demand, and action of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciple all over the world. I mean, a person who can make disciple all over the world means he's a very perfect person, right? He's very disciplined. So how? A person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demand, okay, the action of anger, and the urges of tongue and belly and genitals. See, everything in a straight line, all right? When you see there's a tongue, all right, belly, genital, all in a straight line. Okay, when you see this, okay, when you see the photo here, everything in a straight line, right? So what a person needs, urge to speak. So sometimes when we try to show our supremacy, we try to show our cleverness, we like to speak. When a person speaks, you also interfere and start to speak. Urge to speak. So a person can tolerate that. Vacho. Vacho na vasanam. Vasikirada. Vacho. Vacho vegam. All right, tolerate the urge to speak. Manasa, mind. Krodha, anger. So the one who can then can control the mind's demand. The mind says this, they say no. All right? And the action of anger. So suddenly become angry. You can able to control it. And the urges, the tongue wants food. People are so crazy nowadays. They travel from one place to another place just to eat. They call themselves as foodie. Right? I've seen a person fly away all the way from Singapore to Ipoh just to go and eat this some tauge stuff. Right? I have said, what's so big deal about it? When someone comes to me, like, I told you my cousin in New Zealand, all are coming to Malaysia next month. They're all putting a big thing. No, my real name is Punithan. He said, Punithan, can you get for me all this? I said, forget it. I don't know. You go to get it yourself. Traveling all the way from New Zealand just to eat some nasi kanda, just to eat some rubbish. Right? So these are the things. So there's those who can control the urges of the tongue. All right? And the belly. Oh, hungry. I want the belly to be filled up. All right. And the genitals always like to feel like having sex and all these things, right? When these people can control, these are the people who are very well disciplined and they can create disciple all over the world. Okay. So this is the final one. I see Bhuktaram Yakna Tapasang Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suhirdam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shantim Richati. Okay. What it says here. a person in full consciousness of me. So by doing that, a person become very full conscious of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerity. Now we have understood. So who is the beneficiary? Who is the one who benefit from all the sacrifice and austerity? Is Krishna. That means a person in full consciousness of me. That means they understanding fully conscious, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerity, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor of all wish of all living entities, attain peace from pangs of material misery. I mean, the people who achieve peace from the pangs, palm of material misery. So now let's look at this word, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods. Sarva Loka Maheshwar. What does that mean? All right. So he is the one who is supreme lord and who controls all the planets and also the devas. So let's look at the word control all the planets. We are all suffering according to the time, place, and circumstance, according to our planetary movement. All right. Say like this planet go to that planet, this planet come here, and this planet looking at this planet looking at, and creating so much of disharmony. It creating so much of suffering, right or not? Right? Yeldrasani. I mean, 7.5, the planet Saturn is sitting on your chart. In your Janma Sani or something like that, right? Janma chart or something like that. That's when you get something Yeldrasani. 7.5. So like that. So what we can understand here, Bhoktaram Yakana Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So when we simply take Krishna and surrender to Krishna, right? When he is the controller of all the planets, how the planet going to affect you? That's why we do not really go and look for an astrologer, because astrologer can never predict your life properly, because he also imperfect. All right. And if there's anything wrong with your astrological, your distinct chart, when we simply surrender to Krishna, we are also do not go through that kind of suffering. All right. Just imagine when they say you are having according to your chart, you're having this problem, say like Sanishwara, Eldra Sani. So you go every Saturday and go and offer him. Imagine when a judge has already put a punishment on you. All right, the judge is sitting there to give you punishment, but you're every day you're going and worshipping the judge, no, putting lamp and all. Oh, judge, please. You think the judge will compromise? You all understand my question? If a person is sentenced, all right, and the judge is sitting there, and the judge says, okay, now you get rotan 10 times. The judge sit there and see you getting rotan. All right. Now you go to the judge and say, oh, dear judge, can you just this thing, you try to favor him. The judge, you say, take your favor, but you say, now you go and get your rotan. Or you say, if you're in a prison, you try to make a very good friendship with your prison officer, warden, you become very good friend. Does that mean that you can go out the prison? Warden, can I go to 7-Eleven and buy something? You're not allowed. You still have to stay in the prison ward. So that means when we are going around worshipping all that 7-9 planetary system, they say Monday you do this Soma, Tuesday you do this Savai, and Wednesday you do this Buddhan, Thursday you do Guru, Friday you say Sukran, Saturday is Sunny, Sunday is Suryan. You go to all these things, you do your prayers, some or other you can. No, it doesn't work that way. Logic. I'm not simply speculating. When they have sentenced you to such a person for 7.5 years, you're going to go through these kind of challenges. No matter how you stand upside down or whatever, you are not pardoned. He just can say, I really pity you, but the law has to be upheld. All right. But suddenly a top judge or whoever this thing come and say, can you just like excuse this Padita Tarna, don't torture him much. I say, oh, really? That means the judge superior come and tell something. Okay. If you say so, I won't give these kind of things. You are still in the process, but you are excused. That means you're still in the prison, but you're living in a VIP room. You're not staying in a dungeon. You're living in a VIP room. But you're still in the prison. You still have to go through the process. But you are excused. You don't have that feeling. So similarly, when we surrender to Krishna, when we start this thing, so all the 9 planetary system, it most likely, and not to say most likely, it rarely affects you. But you have to take this as with firm faith. And how to do it? Just by chanting Hare Krishna, by reading Bhagavad Gita, you start to see how your life is going to transform, and you start to see all this 9 planetary system will start to become very favorable to you. All right. But you must understand, this is the karma that we have gone through. Okay. Of course, one day, in one of these chapters, I will show you the chart, how the karma works. Okay. Sanchari karma, prarabdha karma, kutta karma. So in the prarabdha karma means the karma that already planned from the day one until you die. What are the character that you're going to go through? What are the suffering you're going to go through? All right. Example, you act in a movie. All right. They give you a script. Now you're going. Time is very bad for you. All right. You're going and somebody going to kidnap you or somebody going to hit you by the roadside. All right. So that's a character. So then how they're going to reenact the character? So that means, okay, now the direct action. So now you're walking, suddenly the thing become dark. And suddenly there's a heavy rain. And you're wet. And you're running. Suddenly one thug came. Look at you, hey, you, and start to beat you. And you fall down, fainted. All right. So the same thing. So in this life, in this particular point of time, you have to go through this kind of suffering. Right? So in that character, in that movie, in that character, you're going through that kind of suffering in your life. So the thing is, the devas, all the 9 planetary system will create an environment that you are going through the suffering. All right. So that's the thing. All right. The question is demigod. What is demigod? Demigod means in Tamil we call devargal. All right. Devas are called demigods. That means they have the godly potential, but only half of it. Demi means half. Demi means half. All right. So demigod means, that means you have the godly potential, but only half of it. It's not complete. All right. So it's like that. Okay. Finish? You got that? All right. So that means these are the things. So we understand when we start to practice this bhakti very seriously, when you're going to take simply, when you just hold that Bhagavad Gita, of course, we're going to see that in Mahatmya in chapter 17 or 18. Even the black magic can never touch you. Of course, I don't want to jump into that. I want to keep it as a surprise so that you can continue the classes. Every day, there's something new and new you're going to learn. That means, you're understanding the nature, you're understanding yourself, and you're understanding that how you can rectify it, and also self-realizing that you're beyond this nature, right? And all these things, all right? So these are the people will be this thing. So that means a person who are fully conscious of me, right? The one who knows me as the ultimate beneficiary because everything we offer to the Lord, and of course, sacrifice everything. And also is the supreme Lord of all planets. He's the one that controls all the 9 planetary system. You understand? So when you are in that this thing, right? Just like in the prison, you become a VIP prisoner. That means from a normal prisoner, you become a VIP prisoner. So it's like that. All right. Okay. Now let's look at this karma yoga, and bhakti yoga. Now let's look at the difference in a very simple way. Okay, what is karma? So example is, I have a potato, but I want to eat that potato. So what I do, I take it, I peel it, I cut it, I fry it, and I eat it. That's called karma. Karma means activity. Now, what is karma yoga? The activity that I link to Krishna. Yoga means linking with God. So that activity I link with God. So what I do, I want to eat potato. So now again, the same thing. I take it, I peel it, I cut, I fry. Then what I do, I offer it to Krishna first. Dear Krishna, please take it. Then after that, I eat it. That's called karma yoga. So what is bhakti yoga? I mean, linking with God through bhakti. So now I'm thinking, I want to please Krishna. And I was thinking, well, how can I please Krishna? Then suddenly I realized I have potatoes. I got potatoes. So what I do, I take it, I peel it, I cut it, I fry it, and I offer it to Krishna, and then I eat it. So what is the difference? The first karma means I want to do it, and I take it and eat it myself. Number 2, I want to do it, I take it, I cook it, I offer to Krishna, then I eat it. And number 3, I'm thinking, how can I make Krishna happy? How can I please him? Then I take the potato. That means a thought. I mean, first I want to make him happy. I want to please him. Then I go into that activity. I take it, I offer it to Krishna, and I eat it. So that's the thing. So the potato hasn't changed. The cooking process has not changed. So what is that 3? What is the changes? What is the difference between these 3? Consciousness. This is what we call consciousness. How is your consciousness? That's the only program. All right. So like that. So take the formula. So I hope that you all are studying Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis. You're reading. All right. Then go on reading Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis, and also chant your rounds. When you start to chant, okay, well, how that reading and chanting going to affect you, we will see. We have time. I will also explain to you in a chart. All right. So with that, we end the session here. Okay, exactly 11:04. So is there any questions, any comment? Bhakti yoga. What do you mean, Bhakti yoga? What is that, Tinishwari? Mean bring the potato? No. See, it's like this. Karma yoga means You want to eat potato. Okay. Now I'm thinking, what should I eat? I feel like eating French fries. So I take the potato, I cook and I eat. You got it? This is called karma.
I think
Karma
it's
yoga.
both also same only, right? Karma yoga and bhakti yoga look same. Is
Same,
it
but the
after
process
we
is different.
after we cook, we are offering to the God, right? But
Yes.
is it bhakti yoga trying to say that before we cook, we bring the potato to
No,
the
no, no, no,
altar?
no, no.
Is it
No, no,
like
it's
that?
not that. Before you cook, before you prepare, like example, now I'm sitting here. Now it's going to be 11 o'clock. I plan to cook lunch. Example, I'm not a good cook. I don't cook. Just give an example. Now I feel, okay, I want to cook something for Krishna. So I'm thinking, first thought, I want to please Krishna. What should I do? How can I please Krishna today? Now the thought. Then I go, I found a potato. And then I cook, I offer. So first thought is, how can I please the Lord? Example, I'm going to the supermarket. I'm just randomly going at a supermarket. Suddenly I see a very nice mango. I say, hey, look at this mango. So beautiful. I think Krishna will love it. You understand? The thought
Oh,
of
okay.
serving,
About
then
God.
cooking. But
Oh,
karma
okay.
yoga means, that means I want to eat that mango, but I don't want to eat alone. So I cook and offer to Krishna, then I eat.
Oh, okay, okay, understand.
Yes, yes. Nice,
Thank
nice.
you.
All right, welcome. I'm so happy that you're joining all our class, Dineshwari. I hope that you can maintain all our class. If you have any question, you can ask. You can even ask to me in the group, or you can ask this thing. So good. I think there's another person is not around, who always
My akka.
come.
My akka.
Your what?
My sister akka.
Oh, okay. I think she's not free today, I think.
Yeah.
No, today she have to send her children. Joho is work.
Okay. But hopefully that she hears the recording.
Yeah.
All right. So any other question? Any questions you have? Any comment? Anything you want to know? So how do you find this class?
Fine. Good. Very good. Today is interesting.
Interesting.
Some
Today
more
is interesting. Before this, not interesting.
Interesting, but it's a topic you should speak is nice.
Exactly. As you go on, you see more and more mind-blowing topics. Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. How about any other person? Sumitra, my cousin sister. How are you? I think he's not there. All right. So, any question? Sheila, where are you from, Sheila? Are you there? She's not there.
Hello, Purita.
Yes, Sumitra.
Sorry, Purita.
Okay.
Very
So how do you
interesting class. A lot of
Hmm.
knowledge has been obtained. All this one, I was not clear with.
Now you're better.
Now better. That means, but I have one question. Can I?
Yeah.
The offering that we offer to Krishna, it should be from our heart, like pure heart. Is that
So?
like from our pure heart? That means like we want to offer Krishna today, but you see, it should be done like this. But then there is several restrictions that cannot be done like this. So
See,
it
the
must
only
be
restriction is you shouldn't put onion, garlic, egg. All right. And you cook without even tasting. You don't taste the food. You cook with meditation, thinking about Krishna. You're cooking for Krishna. Krishna going to eat it. All right. Then you cook, you offer to Krishna. It doesn't matter whether your heart is pure or not pure. It doesn't matter. All right. We are all conditioned soul. Our heart is not pure. So we are trying to purify our heart by offering this to Krishna. So when you offer to Krishna, then after that you start to take and eat, you will be amazed. The purification start from there. I have seen so many people who have never offered food to Krishna. Like for instance, like people say, I'm not a vegetarian, and I say, okay, it doesn't matter. But every Sunday, do you offer this pongal or pulisore? Yeah, we do. Why not? You do it on a daily basis. One day you put pongal, one day you do pulisore and all this. Now after they offer, they start to eat. They said, my God, Prabhu, did I really cook it? I say, why? I'm so surprised the food is even more tastier. So there's a reciprocation, Krishna reciprocate with you. That's when the purification starts. All right. So don't worry whether your heart is pure or not pure. Just do it. Just perform it. And you start to see how Krishna is going to reciprocate with you. Okay.
Thank you, Gurudev. Thank you.
What is the real meaning? Okay. Now here it says Paramam. What is it meaning? Tam Ishwaram Paramam Maheshwatam. Tam Ishwara Paramam. Paramam means supreme. Okay. Rusan Mataji. Paramam means supreme. Ishwara means controller. Okay, Mataji? Paramam. Param. Okay? All right. Very good, Mataji. You're doing, I'm very happy with your this thing. Now, let's see. Sadguna Mataji asking, what is Sankhya Yoga? Prabhu, is it analytic? Yes. Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya means analytical, scientific, analytical study. So, Sankhya Yoga means analytically, you are trying to study the Lord. Scientific study of the Lord. Okay, Mataji? The Sankhya philosophy, or scientific way of addressing the Lord, research the Lord, there was a Veda, there was a Shastra called Sankhya, but it has disappeared. Okay, as I said, 30%, 70% of the Vedas were destroyed, right? Gone. So one of it is Sankhya. So the Sankhya Yoga, the way this thing on Sankhya Yoga, the entire Shastra disappeared. So what we are having now is only a summary from what we have learned from Srimad Bhagavatam and all this. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it summarizes all these things, Sankhya Yoga and all these things. All right. Okay. So anything else? So if there's nothing, so we end the session here. But please do me a favor. Please drop a comment in that WhatsApp group. Say that how do you find the class today and how it was interesting. So this can also encourage people to come and join the next day live class. All right. So we end the session here. Thank you so much for all your beautiful time, all beautiful people. And today is Friday, is the last day. So Saturday and Sunday, there's no class. So we're going to continue the class on Monday. All right. So Monday, we're going to continue with chapter 6. All right. You have 2 days. So if you are available, please try to go and study your Bhagavad Gita and try to read from chapter 1 to chapter 5. What are the things that you have missed? Try to go, and you have any questions, anything you can ask in the group, or you can even ask me personally. But I always suggest to ask in the group. So our conversation is going to benefit everybody. All right. From you asking personally, better to ask in the group. Okay. That's why I keep the group open. So anybody listening, and please don't send any forwarded message. Good morning, good evening, all. Please don't do it because I don't want to spam the group. So people will be very comfortable in the group. Okay. So have a beautiful weekend, blissful weekend. And those people who are, if you have any nearby ISKCON center, there's some centers are doing program on Saturday, some doing on Sunday. Go and join them. Especially if anyone in Ipoh, please come to Ipoh and join our Sunday feast. Okay, there's in KL, in Seremban. I think Sumi near your place also got a ISKCON center on Sunday. Go and join them. Don't cook on weekend. Go and have party in our temple, right? So till then, have a beautiful day. Pancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha paditanam pavinibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna and have a beautiful day. Hare Bol.
Thank you.
Hare Bol. Gauranga.